Interactive read-alouds with a comprehension and vocabulary focus support children's literacy development. In this classroom, the teacher provides child-friendly explanations of new vocabulary during the read-aloud, and then revisits these new words after reading.
In this lesson today, we're learning more about families, and we're able to talk about families being alike and different, and how families help us and support us, and we learn and grow in our families. And then we also learned new vocabulary such as celebrations and reunions, things that we might be doing with families, and that gives them more vocabulary to be able to talk about those ideas and hopefully be able to use in their everyday life. There are all kinds of families. Some families are big and have cousins, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and even great-grandparents.
I see bubbles in that
So,
page. I have a cousin.
It sounds like you're making some connections to the book already.
But
So,
can I see some bubbles in
if you have a connection, what sign can you use to show you have a connection?
That's the
Same.
biggest bubble my aunt
So Jax was noticing that he has cousins. If you have cousins in your family, put your finger on your nose. Who has cousins? So let's look at the pictures in the book. And what do you see happening with these families? What are some of the things the families are doing? You can raise your hand so I know you want to talk. Vincent, you raised your hand. What do you notice that the families are doing?
Playing with bubbles.
It looks like some of the families are playing with bubbles.
And some are swimming.
And it looks like some families are swimming together. Those are some things that families might do together. Piper, it looks like you have your hand up. What else do you notice?
Well, there's grandpas and I think the baby may be playing too.
Okay, so you're noticing that there's different types of family members, like a grandparent, and sometimes there's children or babies in families. I like to use read-alouds to introduce vocabulary to children. There's often words that they might not hear in their everyday language to each other, and so it's a great opportunity to introduce vocabulary and also vocabulary that relates to our study or theme that we are using. It helps them connect their content knowledge to and be able to talk about the things that they're learning about as well. Sometimes the people in the families look alike. Alike means the same. So sometimes they look the same or similar, alike. Charlotte, you're raising your hand. What do you want to tell me about? You have something
And
to
the
say.
page of the dresses, they have the same long dress, and they have a baby that's cute, but the dresses aren't the same color, but they're both the same long.
Charlotte, you noticed that the dresses were alike because they were the same length.
And the same longs.
Yeah, long, that's called length on a dress. So you noticed that they were alike in the length, and they're different in the color. Sometimes they don't. So on the last page we were talking about families sometimes look alike or the same, and sometimes they look different. Sometimes they don't look alike. I provide child-friendly explanations to help children make connections to what they know in order to have a better understanding of the new vocabulary words and be able to use it in their everyday conversations. The way I prepare for a read-aloud where I'm focusing on vocabulary is first identify the words that I believe children need to know to understand the content of the book, and also words that they'll be able to assimilate into their own language and make connections with. Some of the words that I chose in this book were alike, and with the explanation of it being the same. We talked about different a little bit in comparison to alike and different. I also chose alike and different because it helps to give a better understanding of families and deepen that content knowledge. When members of a family live far away, they like to visit. They get together at celebrations.
Watermelon.
Reunions. You're noticing something. A celebration is like a special event, like maybe a birthday or a holiday where families get together. Can you think of a celebration that your family might have?
My family had a Valentine's Day a long time ago, and I got a toy unicorn for the Valentine's Day.
So your family had a celebration where you got together and then you got a special gift, it sounds like. Anybody else have some celebrations in their family? Piper?
At my birthday, I didn't just have my family. I had my friends, I had my cousins, I had everybody that it wasn't even for my family. Because I go to daycare, and even they were there, and they weren't even for my family.
Oh, so some celebrations have your family and your friends, so it might be a get-together or a reunion. A reunion is when you get together with people that you haven't seen. It could be family or friends that you haven't seen in a while. That's a reunion. I do prepare ahead of time by choosing the vocabulary words that I plan to introduce. I do often just put them on stickies. Sometimes I will even note the stickies on the page so I remember to use them. In preparation, I often think about open-ended questions that I want to ask to stimulate the discussion, if there's particular pictures that I want to draw attention to, and that just helps me to just remember and be very intentional about the vocabulary, the content, and what I want children to learn from the book. Families have fun. Julissa, what do you notice?
Well, some people can play with the water.
So you notice the families that were playing in the water. That is another way for families to have fun together. They revisit the words after to help deepen children's understanding, especially when it relates to the concepts that we're trying to teach relating to the study. Some of the things that we do afterwards to deepen their understanding is sometimes there will be additional pictures or props that we might use to deepen children's understanding. Sometimes we'll act things out in order to deepen children's understanding. So I wanted to go back to celebrations and reunions. Those were two words that were in our book. And we talked a little bit about celebrations and how they might honor a special event or occasion or even holiday. I have some pictures of some celebrations. We'll also have children say the words so that they can own it and be able to pronounce the words themselves. And we'll often give examples to help deepen their understanding as well. So let's talk about celebrations. Say that word. Celebrations. Let me hear you all say it together. Celebrations. So one way that we have celebrations is with birthdays. So this is a picture. Do you remember Heather, my daughter who's come into the classroom before?
Yeah.
This is when she was 4, your age. This is her
fine.
Celebration. What are some things that you notice that are happening at this celebration? Dex, what do you notice about the celebration?
Birthdays.
You think it's a birthday, so a birthday can be a celebration. I have another type of celebration here. Does anyone know what this type of celebration is?
No.
It's called a graduation.
Oh yeah. Yesterday I went to a graduation because somebody was graduation from high school.
Yes, so
and I got to see some of my cousins.
You were excited to go to that celebration. So sometimes a celebration can be after you do some hard work, like go through school and do all of that work, and then when you're finished with hard work, you can have a celebration. So maybe after we're done with our school year, after all of your hard work, we could have a celebration as well.
That's a party.
A celebration is a party.
Yeah, and we can have balloons and decorations.
It sounds like you're making plans. It's really important to have Read-Alouds be an interactive process instead of just reading to children, allowing children the opportunities to make connections and engage in conversations, and then it deepens their knowledge of the content and vocabulary as well. Reunion. Say that word.
Reunion.
Reunion. Try that again. Reunion. Reunion. Reunion means when you see somebody you haven't seen in a long time. Who can tell me about a reunion that they have had?
I haven't seen my grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles, and my other grandma and grandpa because we're gonna visit them in a really long time. It's been so long I haven't seen them.
So when you see them after a long time, you could give them a hug and you could say, I'm so happy for this reunion. So remember, a reunion is when you get to see somebody you haven't seen in a long time. So what will you tell them?
I'll tell them, I missed you.
I missed you. I'm so happy for this reunion. Sometimes adding movement and activities or acting things out really helps to deepen their understanding. We're going to talk about how we are alike or the same and how we are different, which is not the same. So I want the children who have families where you have a sister. If you have a sister, I want you to go over by Miss Bush. She has a sister. Do you have a sister, Miss Dodds? I don't have a sister either. So Miss Dodds and I are over here. If you have a sister, you're going to go by Miss Bush. If you don't have a sister, you're going to come over here by me and Miss Dodds. Come on over here if you do not have a sister. So this group over here, all of those children, look at that, all of those children over there, they are alike. They are alike because they all have sisters. Let's all say alike. Alike. And then this group over here, we're alike. Say that. Alike. We're alike because we don't have sisters.
I have butter.
Are our groups alike or different? If they have sisters and we have no sisters.
I have a sister.
You have a sister, then you're on the wrong side. Go, 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 go. So now you're alike over there because you all have sisters. All right, one more sort. Let's see here. If your families have pets, if you have a pet, come over here. I have a pet. If you don't have a pet, go over there. So if you have a pet, come over here. So these children over here are alike because they don't have pets. If they don't have pets and we do, are our groups alike or different?
Different.
They're different, that's right. So read-alouds might be an introduction to new words, and then we provide lots of other opportunities to be able to use those words. We'll often see some of those words kind of come into their everyday language when playing, and that's a great moment when you see them using their vocabulary. If you all go to the Fox class for preschool, come over here. So what does that mean?
Alike.
We're alike. We're all alike because we go to the Fox class.
Learn more at literacyessentials.org.